Last week I did a short about how our road tyres on our GS is more than enough for most of the off-roading we'll ever do, which maybe is something a bit like this. It's mostly tarmac, a bit of gravel and a bit of grass. I think what really is interesting for me is the key thing to doing this is knowing what your limit is and riding well within it as you build up confidence. Because coming off at this, and I'm only going over 20 miles an hour, it's still going to fucking hurt. But I think when we're out on the road, there's a level of confidence that perhaps we shouldn't have. When we're caning those bends at 60, 70, sometimes 80 miles an hour, and we're pushing ourselves, pushing the limits of our tyres, pushing the limits of our bikes, this is a good reminder to go, right, wherever I think I am, I'm probably not there. If we bring it down a little bit, we can still have just as much fun, but stay a bit safer. So as you can see just how narrow this lane is. Plenty of cars do come with fact, but here's hoping they don't. I could take this a little bit faster. Some of this is not as rough as I thought it was, at least in my memory, but it's somewhere between my confidence, my ability and my tyres. I'd be interested to put some knobbly tyres in this and do a little bit quicker to see what I could get away with. Maybe this is why adventure bikes are taking over the market, or have taken over the market. I'm not an off-road rider by any stretch of the imagination, but to be able to get out here and practice rudimentary skills, see what my tyres are like, see what my bike's like, see what I'm like, for this level of performance, for what could be considered not a lot of money, absolutely invaluable experience. I have to stop for a drink and what will be a bit of a continuity error, as I've now taken my jacket off, which is a bit foolish, but we're not going that fast, but it is bloody hot. Makes me think I wish I'd bought the Nox Armoured Urbane Mark II shirt that my friends recently bought, perfect for this occasion. And excuse my man tits, shout out to Oily Rag in Gloucester. So let's complete this little trip. It's just a little bit sad really. When I was a younger man 20 years ago and riding bikes, it was all about race reps. Virgin Mobile race rep R6, Rizzlers, GSXRs. Now it's all adventure bikes. So I feel if I was 20 years younger with a little bit of cash, what I could do, doesn't bear thinking about. For me, what's great about the big adventure bike market is I was on the M4 today on this bike, blatting along at the speed limit, and this bike is more than happy there. And then bring it onto a place like this, and it's equally more than happy. Now, consider this against my Monster. It's not particularly happy on the motorway. It wouldn't be particularly happy here. So to have a bike like this, be it BMW, KTM, Triumph, any of the big adventure bikes, to have something so incredibly utilitarian, particularly for the more novice off-road rider, I think there's a real advantage. I think what's particularly relevant about riding out here is about knowing what your limit is. Now, I'm doing that at a super safe speed. I'm not going over 20 miles an hour, really. Don't get me wrong, a tumble at 20 miles an hour on this stuff's still going to fucking hurt. Well, I suppose that could be something to do with me going so slowly, but that's the key. I'm not in a rush. There's no point me pushing way beyond my ability and having a crash and then causing a problem for somebody else to solve. So, what have I learned about myself there? I certainly know to some degree where my limit is and my ability is. I know that this GS, a quarter of a ton, is fucking heavy when I nearly dropped it. And I know these tyres aren't really good enough for that job. But I think somewhere between, if I was better, I could take it quicker. If I had better tyres and I wasn't as confident, that might also be fine. But without this continual practice, I think it's very difficult to know what sort of rider we are unless we put ourselves in a relatively safe environment where we can learn, and if we have a spill, it hopefully won't cause too much damage to our bike or too much damage for ourselves. But I do want to try that maybe with different tyres, potentially a little bit quicker, but not with just a t-shirt on. Cheers.